They call it progress. Airplanes that fly higher than ever before. Hospitals that save lives once thought impossible. Skyscrapers that touch the edge of the clouds. We have built a world of stunning complexity, a web of expertise, knowledge, and data. Yet in the middle of all that brilliance, we keep making the same mistakes. We forget. We skip steps. We assume. And sometimes, those tiny oversights cost lives, money, or dreams. Atul Gawande saw this not from an office desk, but inside the quiet chaos of an operating room. Surrounded by beeping monitors, bright lights, and a dozen trained professionals, he noticed something terrifying. Even the smartest people fail. Not from ignorance, but from overwhelm. Think about that. You can know everything, train for years, be the best at what you do, and still fall to the simplest errors. A missed step, a forgotten check, a silent assumption that everything's fine. And that's where the story begins. The story of how human brilliance met its own limits and found salvation in something absurdly simple: the checklist. Most people hear that word and scoff. A checklist? That's too basic, too small for complex minds. But that's exactly the illusion Gawande exposes, the illusion of control. Because our brains are not built for endless details. Under pressure, we skip, we rush, we trust memory. And memory betrays us when it matters most. Let's go back in time, to 1935. The U.S. Army was testing a brand new bomber. It was supposed to be the most advanced flying machine ever built. Fast, efficient, unbeatable. The pilot, one of the best in the Air Corps, took off smoothly. And then, the plane crashed. No engine failure, no sabotage. Just human error. The pilot had forgotten a simple safety step before takeoff. The project was nearly canceled. But instead of blaming the machine or the man, someone asked a radical question: what if we could make sure this never happens again? The answer wasn't more training or smarter people. It was a checklist, a simple written sequence that ensured every pilot, no matter how skilled, followed every essential step. Every time. It worked. Planes became safer, missions more reliable, lives saved, all because of a humble list. That's when the wolf inside whispers, discipline beats brilliance. Every generation believes their problems are too complex for simple solutions. We glorify innovation, but ignore the power of consistency. We celebrate creativity, but forget the strength of structure. The checklist isn't about limiting freedom, it's about freeing your focus. When the basics are handled, the mind is liberated to think, adapt, and lead. But let's be honest, our ego resists it. You and I have both been there. You think, I don't need to write this down, I've got it. And then you forget one small thing, one detail that derails everything. We fail not because we don't know. We fail because we don't follow what we know. In hospitals, pilots' cockpits, investment firms, and even kitchens of Michelin-star restaurants, Gawande saw the same truth repeated. Systems succeed where memory fails. A checklist turns chaos into clarity. It doesn't make you smarter. It makes you reliable. That's power. That's control. That's humility in action. Pause. Think about this. When was the last time you built a system that protects you from yourself? The Whispering Wolf says, an alpha doesn't rely on instinct alone. He builds rituals that guard his purpose. The best surgeons, the best investors, the best leaders, they aren't flawless. They're fortified by process. They know that the difference between good and great isn't talent, it's consistency. The checklist is discipline made visible. It's the bridge between chaos and control, between genius and failure. And when you start to see that, everything changes. Now imagine applying this principle beyond surgery and flying, to your life, your goals, your ambitions. Most people set big dreams but forget the small disciplines that build them. They want transformation without process, results without repetition. But life doesn't work that way. The wolf doesn't hunt by luck. He hunts by ritual. He follows the same silent pattern every night, scanning, stalking, striking, until instinct becomes method. You can have that power too. A checklist isn't a piece of paper. It's a declaration that you refuse to leave success to chance. When Gawande introduced the surgical checklist in hospitals around the world, the results were unbelievable. Infection rates dropped, deaths were cut nearly in half, and thousands of lives were saved. Not through new technology, not through genius innovation, just through structure. People laughed at first. We're professionals, they said. We don't need babysitting. But soon, they realized something deeper. The checklist doesn't insult your intelligence, it protects it. You remember the wolf, moving silently under the moonlight, senses sharp, instincts guided by ritual. That same precision, that same discipline, is what the checklist gives to us. After all the chaos, all the overwhelming complexity, all the moments when life tested our memory, our ego, our pride, the checklist stands as a beacon. It whispers, follow me. Do not skip. Excellence waits here. The Whispering Wolf says, genius is fleeting, but process is eternal. Now, pause. Think about the dreams you carry, the goals that haunt your restless nights, the ambitions that feel too big, too messy, too impossible. What if the reason they falter is not a lack of skill or talent, but the absence of a system, a simple, unyielding process that ensures the essentials are never forgotten? In hospitals, thousands of lives are saved every day because someone refused to trust memory alone. In aviation, planes land safely because pilots follow the same silent steps over and over. In the wilderness, the wolf survives because he honors ritual, discipline, and focus. And in your life, mastery comes the same way, not through sporadic bursts of brilliance, not through ego-driven effort, but through consistency, reliability, and the courage to follow a system that protects you from your own mistakes. Imagine a life where nothing essential is missed, where your actions are deliberate, where chaos bows to clarity. This is not fantasy. This is what happens when you embrace the checklist, when you accept that discipline is freedom, that humility is strength, and that true power lies in structure. You may ask, doesn't this feel limiting? The whispering wolf answers, no, it frees you. It frees your mind to innovate, to adapt, to strike with precision. Without the basics secured, every move you make is a gamble. With them in place, every move becomes intentional, every decision powerful, every step closer to mastery. The beauty of the checklist is in its simplicity. It does not require genius. It requires honesty. It requires commitment. It requires courage, the courage to admit, I am human. I will forget. I need protection. And when you start applying this truth, you transform your life. You wake up and follow your morning ritual without hesitation. You tackle your highest priority tasks knowing nothing critical will slip. You review your day and know that every essential step was honored. This is more than habit. This is sovereignty. This is the wolf way. The world around you is complex. It will always test your focus, your memory, your resolve. Complexity is not going away, but you can rise above it. You can tame it. With your checklist as your guide, your rituals as your armor, your discipline as your weapon, you become unstoppable. Pause. Feel it. Hear the whispering wolf in the distance. You are capable. You are prepared. You are disciplined. Every great life is built on small victories repeated. Every master, every leader, every survivor relies on systems. Your checklist is not just a list. It is a declaration. I will not be undone by oversight. I will not be defeated by chaos. I will follow the path of precision every single day. The final lesson is this. Complexity is inevitable. Mistakes are inevitable. Human error is inevitable. But failure is not inevitable. Not when you honor the process. Not when you respect the system. Not when you are willing to let the whispering wolf guide you, quietly, powerfully, relentlessly. In the end, excellence is simple. It is ordinary actions done extraordinarily well. It is small steps repeated without fail. It is humility, courage, and the discipline to follow your checklist. No excuses, no shortcuts, no compromises. The whispering wolf leaves you with this final thought. Build your systems. Honor your rituals. Protect yourself from your own limits. In the silence of discipline, you will hear the call of mastery. And when you answer, nothing can stop you.